Thank you for joining us. And
Namaste.
today I thought we would do a bit of a focus on the side body. I know I've done a few variations on this, but today for some reason I was feeling about really opening the side body and feeling that length. Because a lot of times we get used to sitting in cars or chairs and we get slumped or we get lazy. And so we want to create space all the way from the side hip up through, the armpit. And how do we do that? So today, we'll just have a little practice around that. And I again will remind you of modifications. So let's begin. And I brought a few props out, and you will have some or you won't have any. But if you have a pillow, a blanket, a rolled towel, or blocks, one of the ways I like to start a class focusing on the side body is laying on your mat, placing the blocks on a slight diagonal. If you have a pillow or blanket, the same thing. And laying down with the knees bent and extending the arms out, and then lift the knees, lower legs together, ankles, feet together, and then just do a lower body twist. And that supports your lower legs. Why I like two blocks for this is it's long enough to support my whole shin, my whole underside of my lower leg. And then this is really more about, creating some space in the lower half of the body in the sense of a nice stretch for the lower back. But also there's length on the diagonal from your armpit down through your hip. So you can play with how far away the knees are, and you might stay there for a few breaths. And then you can bend the knees up closer to your armpits. You have to move your prop a little bit to support that. And then your whole, so my knees are to my left side, so it means my whole right lung is facing the ceiling. And I can breathe into the armpit, the side waist, and the side hip. And this is something really useful to do. I suppose it can be useful any time of the day, but I think it's also very useful to do this sort of later in the day too, because you might have been having a full day. And this way you can really get a nice stretch through the sides and into the lower spine. And if you can slow down your breath, it's really nice to slow down your breath. See if you begin to feel a little bit more space. And of course, anybody can do this pose. And sometimes, the knees might be higher. You might need to have more under to support them. If you can't maintain the shoulder, you want to keep both shoulders and arms down to the floor. And then inhale the knees up, and you'll have to change your prop to the other side. Bolsters are really nice for this too. If you have a long bolster, these are great. This is why I enjoy yoga props, because they give extra support for poses. And then you might feel a difference when you go to the other side. Maybe the other side feels more open, Or maybe you notice a difference and it's got more tension, but whatever the case is, now you're opening the other lungs, so the left side lungs. Really slowing down the breath as best as you can. And then bring the knees up and place your prop off to the side. And then we're going to come down into an X as the body. And we're going to do something called the body half, and this will help you feel that when you move in one side of the body, the other side lengthens. So because the left side is facing the camera, I'm going to start to slowly slide my elbow and knee towards each other. It's not a lot of effort. It's just a sliding using gravity, and it rotates my head naturally. Now when you do this, can you feel how this left side is shortening here, but your right side is really opening up and lengthening? Can you feel all that length all the way from the fingers to the toes? Perhaps you really feel how anchored the shoulder blade and the bottom of the hip are on the floor. A couple of breaths there. And then extend back into the X and just let the head roll back to the center. And then to the right side, bring the elbow and the knee towards each other. And the head follows. Now can you feel that whole length in that side of the body? So as the right side shortens, and the knee and the elbow come towards each other, the left side lengthens. And then extend back into that X position. So it's sort of like the Vesuvius Man from Leonardo da Vinci's artwork, as he kind of stands like this, wide-legged, wide-armed. And he's on the, I think he's on the €1. And again, do this left side, bringing the elbow and knee towards each other, feeling that length in that side body as the head rolls. And then extend it long again, letting the head come back to neutral. And then bending the right knee, right elbow towards each other. Feeling that length in the left side. Coming back to X. Now you may notice that because it naturally, it's just gravity with your head rolling, that you may start to notice, oh, do I have tension in my neck? Is there tension in my neck into my shoulder? So you can always slow it down and just stay where you feel that tension and breathe for a few breaths and then see if you can go a little bit more in it. But this action is not about bringing the knee and the elbow together. That's a lot more active. Now go back into that X and see if you can feel the length in the side body. And then we're going to take this into a couple of rolls. So you're going to flex that left side, feel that length on the right side, and then bring it all in together. And you know, you can modify this by slowing it down and then lengthen the top side. So that's my right side. Can you feel that length as you start to open back into the X and letting the head roll? And then I'm going to bring my knee. So this requires a little more action. Bringing my right knee and my right elbow to each other until I come on my side, and then my left side folds in. And then I'm going to lengthen my left side out and come back into that X. We'll do it twice more or once more on each side. So bending that left side until the right side needs to come in. And then lengthening on that right side so you can roll back into that X. And then the right side, bending the knee and the elbow towards each other, and then bringing that left side in. And opening back up into the X. And since we're already going this way, to come up to sitting, you will need to bend the one side in and then come back up. So learning movements like this actually can give ease in your movement transitions from the floor to sitting, from sitting to standing, from moving in and out of chairs. So these basic patterns are very helpful in finding that connection movement. So take a minute, just sit on your heels if you can. If you can't sit on your heels, you can just sit in easy cross leg. And then just notice that whole side body. Do you feel more space or not? It's just a question. There's no right or wrong answer. And then come into all fours. And really spread those fingers, and we're going to tuck the toes under. And depending on how long you want your downward dog, you can perhaps walk the hands a little forward. When you tuck the toes under, come into downward dog. And downward dog is a place where if you're getting that lift in those sit bones, you can really feel into that whole side body. Feeling that length. And then bend the knee down and go into big toes together, knees wide. And a way to really feel the length in the side body here is to keep the hands on the floor, really pressing the hands to the floor. Lengthen those sit bones back to the heels. And then inhale again up to all four. Tuck the toes under and come into downward facing dog. We're going to do a variation, and you need a little bit shorter dog, so walk the feet in a little bit. You're just going to hang over to the left leg, place the right hand. It can be on your thigh or your calf muscle or your ankle. So you're not twisting, you're just hanging. See if you can feel that length in the side body. Then place that hand down, and you might need to do a little bit of release here. And then come back into the downward dog and place the opposite hand, left hand to the right thigh or calf muscle or ankle. Just hanging here. Place the hand back down. Come back into big toes together, knees wide. Really press through the hands and see if you can find length through the sit bones and lengthen that side body. And then inhale, come up. And if you know you need something under your knees for softness, put something under your knees. if you know that you're a little bit hyperextended in your calf muscles, I'll show you how to use a block. We're going to go into gate pose, Parigasana. So we're going to start with the ankle up. So I've got my right foot out. You can do the opposite if you want. If you have hyperextended knees, you can put a block right there on your calf muscle. And then depending on your foot and ankle, if you can place the foot down, great. If you need to keep that flexion up, you can. Sometimes we work this into the wall. We put a block to the wall and we sometimes raise the foot here. So if you can place the foot down, great. If not, keep it flexed. And then inhale those arms up to the side. And then exhale and inhale the palms up and drop the hand down to the thigh or the calf. And then you can bring the other arm up. And if you can bring it up and over, this is when you're really going to feel that whole stretch in the side body. And you can stay here for a few breaths and you might be able to go a little deeper into the pose. And then inhale, slowly come up, arms out to the side. Exhale the arms down. Bring that leg in. And then inhale. Bring the other leg out. Again, you can either put the heel down. If you have hyperextended knees, you can put the block under the calf. If you're okay in the knees, you can either just keep the foot flexed or you can place the foot to the floor. That's, some people won't have that range in their foot, so they may still be here if they try to do it. But feel that, if you can put the foot down to the floor, you can really feel the stretch, how it really stretches the top of the foot. We did that class not too long ago, focusing on feet, so this is just another position in the foot. And with your leg, I didn't say this on the other side, but it's important, most of us don't have 180-degree turnout, so the leg may need to be a little further forward. So then inhale the arms up shoulder height, exhale there. Inhale the palms up, drop the hand to the thigh or the shin, and bring the top arm up and over, finding that length. So you stabilize through the foot and the shin. And in my case right now, it's my right side. You may be on your left side, that's okay. And then inhale, slowly come up, bring that in. And then to come up to standing, you're just going to swing one leg forward. If you have any kind of balance issues, you can always put the hands on the thigh. But I'm going to put my hands on my hips. I'm going to extend through the back leg. So now I've come up, and I'm going to bring that foot forward. So then we'll stand into Tadasana for a couple of breaths. And again, just notice what's happening in that whole side body. And then interlock the fingers. Bring the hands forward. And remember which side you're doing, so you do the opposite side. And then inhale the arms overhead. Now, can you feel that length? Can you feel pressing down in your feet? And then you can reach over to one side. It's a little bit like a little tiny C curve. Come back through the center, really rounding those feet. And then to the other side. Come back to the center. Release the hands, allow the arms to float down. A couple of breaths here, Tadasana. And change your crossover. So just notice which one you did. Hopefully you're doing the opposite. So bring those hands forward. Inhale up. And we'll go to the opposite side first this time. Try to go to the opposite side if you remembered first. And then inhale, come up. Exhale, the other side. Inhale up. Just float the arms down. Just feel your side body, your breath here. And then if you feel like stepping or jumping, bring the hands in front of you. You can bend the knees and you can jump wide. We'll go into Utthita Trikonasana because that's really side body focused. So take the left toe, toes to heel, right foot heel to toe. And then reach. And if you want to, you can just bring your hands down and see if you can really feel that length in the side body as you go over. But sometimes the tendency is to lean forward or to lean back in this pose. You really want to lengthen both sides, like you don't want to be arching like that. So if you need your hands as a tactile reminder, bring your hands on your sides as you go down. And then if you want to bring the arms in, you can. Sometimes you can make the feet a little bit wider. Really feel that length. And then inhale, coming up, bringing the feet forward. Right foot toe to heel, left foot heel to toe. And again, if you want that tactile reminder, you can bring the hands on the side body to remind it to lengthen, 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 lengthen. And then bring the arms in. Inhale, coming up. Bringing the feet parallel, and if you want to inch the feet back in, you can, or you can just jump back into Tadasana. A couple of breaths here. And of course, a big one from the side for the side body is Parsvottanasana. So you can either step or cross the arms over, jumping wide. And then we'll take that left foot toe to heel, right foot heel to toe. And then bending the front leg. And really, again, you can, bring that hand to feel that length in the side body. And then this is where you really feel that length, is when you extend the arm over like an arrow. So from your outer left foot all the way out your fingertips. You feel that length. A couple of breaths here. And then inhale, slowly come up. Bring the feet parallel. And then take the right foot toe to heel, left foot heel to toe. Bend the front thigh. You can use that other hand to find that length in the body. tactile help. It's kind of nice to stroke down to those hip bones and then bringing that top arm over like an arrow, making that connection from the right outer foot all the way to the fingertips. Inhale, slowly come up, arms to the side. You can step or jump back into Tadasana. A couple of breaths there. We're going to do one of my favorite poses, as it's a pose of repose. It's also a pose of experiencing that length in your side body. We're going to come down on the mat, and sometimes you can line yourself up with the mat and just find that length by lying down. And you know, just trying to balance here sometimes can be challenging, because sometimes we have a hip that wants to lean back or a shoulder that wants to lean forward. So finding that length in the underside, and then you bend at the elbow, place the hand under the head to support the head, and then slowly bring the top leg up. And this is, we won't worry about the belt tonight. We'll just hold the toe. And if you're feeling up to it, you can slowly straighten the leg. And of course, this is where you need to have a little bit of opening in those hamstrings. But you really have to use your core support here and that whole underside length at the bottom side. For me, it's my right side that's underneath me right now. You might have your left side underneath you. And then slowly bend that leg and bring it back. And then we'll just come back to that length again. And you can feel free to roll over on your mat. I'm going to come so that I can be seen to the other side. Really flex into those feet, lengthen through the underside arm. And this is an interesting pose to practice along a wall. We used to do this in class sometimes. And then bend at the elbows so that you can support the back of your head, and you can almost lean the head back into that hand. And then bend your top leg. So you really need to press the bottom foot. It's as if you were standing, right? So that whole side body is long. That's really grounding you to the floor. And then you can slowly straighten that leg. So tonight we've been practicing a little bit of stabilizing one side to find length in the other side. And then slowly bend that leg in, straighten that leg out. So for Shavasana, feel free to put the legs on a chair, put your feet up the wall, come into regular Shavasana, whatever you've got in your space that's going to support you. So whatever pose you're choosing to settle into. Allow yourself to first tune into the side body. So perhaps you notice your left side. And then notice your right side. we're just going to begin to soften the left toes, the left top of the foot, the left arch of the foot, the left ankle and heel, the left shin and calf muscle, the left back of the knee, sides of the knee, the left thigh, upper thigh, hamstrings, quadriceps, the left side hip, the left side of the belly, left side of the sacrum, the left side waist, the left side rib cage, the left side upper chest, left side shoulder blade, the left side of the clavicle, upper arm, the left elbow, the left forearm, the left wrist, hand, and finger, and then the left side of the face, left ear. See if you can soften your whole left side. Now can you imagine crossing the midline of your body and bringing the relaxation sensations from the left side over into the right side of the body. And you bring it over into the right arm and leg, side body, hands, face and ears. And then slowly begin to deepen your breath, bringing a little bit of movement back into your body, hands, your feet. You can take a little bit of a stretch and a yawn. And then to roll over to your side, you can really bring that knee and elbow towards each other. Feel the length in the opposite side and then bring it all together. And then you slowly ground the lower part of the body to bring yourself up to sitting. Thank you for watching and joining us. And namaste.